The Galactic Council, a union of the most powerful civilizations in the known galaxy, had never needed to consider humanity seriously. Their fleet spanned light years, their weapons could vaporize planets, and their technology was centuries ahead of anything Earth could hope to build. Yet for the first time in 1,000 years, the Council paused. A report glowed ominously in the central chamber above the star Varel 9, Earth. Humans continued to defy every directive, the Eldrax speaker said, his metallic voice echoing through the crystal chamber. The Eldrax were insectoid in appearance, with chitinous exoskeletons glinting under the chamber lights. They build weapons. They colonize worlds. They refuse to surrender. This planet is a threat. Across the galaxy, the Council's message spread like wildfire. Every fleet, every station, every allied species received the same command. Earth must surrender immediately, or face annihilation on Earth. In a hidden command center beneath the frozen plains of Siberia, the message arrived. Admiral Kara Flynn stood before a massive hologram that filled the room with an eerie blue light. Around her, humans in battlesuits, engineers, and strategists gathered, faces pale but resolute. The Council expected fear, trembling, or even panic. Kara's lips curved into a small, quiet smile. Not out of arrogance, but because she understood something the Council never could. Humans had survived everything: plagues, famine, wars, and near-extinction events. They were not built to bow to superior forces. "They think they can command us," she said softly, her voice calm but firm. "They have no idea who they are dealing with." The soldiers and scientists looked at her, confusion mingling with awe. Admiral Flynn's calm confidence was contagious. A young ensign whispered, "Are we really going to fight them?" "Yes," Kara replied, eyes scanning the holographic projection of the approaching fleets. "We are going to fight them, and we will win." Across Earth's orbit, fleets of human ships powered up. These were not just defense vessels. They were symbols of survival, of human ingenuity and stubbornness. Hidden among asteroid fields and cloaked behind planetary shadows, the dreadnoughts waited. Each was a fortress bristling with weapons, shields, and secret technologies designed to surprise any invader. As the Council's armada drew closer, millions of humans watched from their homes, their cities trembling but hearts unbroken. Children played in the streets unaware of the storm coming. Soldiers trained in silence, and engineers finished final modifications to the warships that would soon leap into battle. Humanity did not tremble. Humanity did not beg. Humanity prepared to show the galaxy its true strength. Kara walked through the command center, placing a hand on the shoulder of a young pilot. "You are about to see something the galaxy will never forget," she said. They expected obedience. They will get laughter, first before the storm. It was not a cruel laughter, nor a mocking one. It was the laughter of people who had endured unimaginable hardship and emerged stronger. It was the laughter of survivors, of creators, of warriors who knew the value of life and the cost of freedom. When the Council expected fear, humans showed courage. When they expected submission, humans showed resolve. And when the first alien scouts entered Earth's space thinking victory was assured, they found something they had never imagined. A species that would not bend, a species that would not yield, a species that laughed at the very notion of surrender. Kara's voice echoed across the bridge. "Let them come. Let them see that Earth does not bow. Let them see what humanity truly is." And in that quiet, defiant moment, the galaxy began to understand that humans were not just another species. Humans were something far more dangerous and far more magnificent. Weeks passed in tense anticipation. From the dark reaches of the galaxy, the Galactic Council's armada appeared, a silent wave of destruction stretching across Earth's orbit. Thousands of ships glimmered like distant stars, their weapons humming with lethal energy. Each vessel was a fortress, each captain certain that humanity's defiance would crumble beneath their might. In Earth's hidden command center beneath Siberia, Admiral Kara Flynn watched the holographic projections of the approaching fleet. Her jaw was firm, her eyes calm. Around her, human crews worked in perfect coordination, checking weapons systems, guiding ships into formation, and running simulations that anticipated every possible alien maneuver. Lieutenant Chen, a young officer with hands still shaking from fear and excitement, finally broke the silence. "Admiral, are we really going to fight all of them?" His voice trembled, though he tried to sound brave. "Yes," Kara said, her voice steady, carrying authority that filled the room. "We're going to fight them, and we will show them the strength of humanity. They think we will surrender. They are wrong. The Council's scouts moved first, small bioships designed to gather intelligence, their weapons minimal but their speed unmatched. They were confident. They had never seen humans act as a coordinated force capable of such precision. They assumed Earth would yield. They were wrong. Hidden in the shadows of asteroid belts, human dreadnoughts waited. Ships bristling with weapons, shields humming with energy, and engines ready to leap forward at impossible speeds. As the alien scouts approached, the humans struck. One scout, a massive crystalline ship shaped like a spider, disintegrated in seconds under a barrage of precision torpedoes and energy beams. Its captain sent a final garbled transmission. Impossible. Before silence claimed them. On Earth's command bridges, humans cheered quietly. Their laughter was not mocking but triumphant. It was the laughter of a species that had survived famine, war, and near annihilation. The laughter of people who had faced extinction and endured. The Council expected fear, and instead, humanity responded with confidence and skill. The attack was only the beginning. Human ships moved with unmatched speed, using the solar system's natural terrain to their advantage. Asteroids became shields, orbital debris became traps, and every maneuver was calculated to strike fear into the hearts of the alien invaders. The Council's armada, once confident and orderly, began to falter. Alien commanders who had faced thousands of civilizations were bewildered. Every strategy they had studied, every prediction failed against the ingenuity of humans. Ships vanished without warning, their destruction leaving trails of energy in the void, signals of warning to the rest of the fleet. Kara Flynn's voice rang over the comm system, calm yet commanding. They wanted obedience. They will find only resistance. They expected fear. We give them courage. Even the Council's own species began to whisper among themselves. The term Death Worlders spread through their fleets. Humans were no longer just another species. They were predators, calculating and fearless, capable of strategies the Council had never imagined. As the sun rose over Earth, its light reflected off the human ships in orbit, bathing them in gold and orange. The Council's armada seemed unstoppable. Yet in the face of overwhelming force, humanity remained unshaken. They moved as one, a single organism fueled by determination, intelligence, and an unbreakable will. The galaxy had expected fear, obedience, and submission. It had underestimated the human spirit. The Council had expected humans to bend, to beg, to surrender. Instead, humans laughed, and that laughter, quiet yet deafening, carried across the void, signaling the first real victory, not of weapons, but of resolve. Humanity was not afraid. Humanity would not bow. Humanity would show the galaxy that even against impossible odds, it would survive and it would conquer in its own way. For the first time in history, the Council realized that this small, fragile planet held a species they could not command, could not predict, and could not break. A species that would stand unyielding against the might of the galaxy itself. Kara smiled as she looked at the approaching fleet. "Let them come," she whispered. "Let them see what humans are made of." And in that moment, the battle for respect and for survival truly began. The first volleys had barely faded when the Council realized its mistake. Humanity was not a fragile species to be ordered or threatened. Humans were cunning, unpredictable, and fearless. Across the galaxy, commanders whispered in disbelief. A planet that had been dismissed as insignificant had shattered their scouts, disoriented their fleets, and proven that obedience was not in its nature. From Earth's hidden command center, Admiral Kara Flynn observed the chaos with a steady gaze. Her team moved like a single organism, issuing orders, predicting alien maneuvers, and striking with precision. Every human ship, from the smallest fighter to the largest dreadnought, followed the strategy as if it had been written into their very DNA. "Admiral," Lieutenant Chen said, voice still trembling from the intensity of the battle. They aren't retreating. They're reorganizing for a full attack." Kara's lips curved into a confident smile. "Let them come. Every attack they launch is another chance to show them what humans are capable of." The Council's fleets advanced, forming a crescent around Earth's orbit, intending to crush the human resistance in a single overwhelming strike. But humans had anticipated every move. Hidden behind asteroid belts and planetary shadows, Earth's dreadnoughts struck like predators from the dark. Alien shields, engineered to withstand the most powerful energy beams, flickered and shattered under concentrated fire, One of the Council's massive warships, shaped like a coiling serpent, erupted in a brilliant explosion. Cyan. Its remains scattered across space, pieces glowing and spinning like dying stars. The captain's last transmission was garbled, screaming disbelief. Impossible! They are only one planet. Across distant colonies, species watched the unfolding battle in stunned silence. Reports of human tactics, speed, and determination spread faster than the Council could control. They were calling humans Deathworlders now, an acknowledgement that this species was not just dangerous but legendary. On Earth, civilians and soldiers alike followed every report. Humanity had always survived against impossible odds, and now they were proving to the galaxy that their survival instinct was coupled with brilliance. Engineers worked tirelessly, producing drones, energy weapons, and stealth fighters. Scientists modified older ships, giving them advanced propulsion and unpredictable attack patterns. Every new weapon was a surprise, every strike precise. In the middle of the battle, Kara addressed her fleet. They wanted submission. They wanted fear. They will find neither. Show them the power of humanity. Her voice echoed through the comm network, reaching every human ship, every soldier in orbit, every pilot in the cockpit. The human ships moved as one. They darted between alien formations, disappearing into asteroid fields only to reappear where the Council least expected them. Explosions of alien vessels lit the void in brilliant streaks of energy, leaving the Council's admirals scrambling. Their strategies, honed over centuries, failed against Earth's cunning. Even the Council's elders began to panic. They had faced countless rebellions, wars, and civil conflicts across the galaxy, but never a species that could combine unpredictability with such resilience. Humans were not only fighting back, they were dominating. Kara watched the destruction from her bridge, quiet pride swelling in her chest. She didn't gloat. She didn't mock. She simply allowed herself a small, steely smile. Humanity had always faced impossible odds, and now they had shattered the myth of invincibility the Council had carried across the stars. The battle continued, but one truth became clear. The Council had underestimated Earth. They had assumed fear would bend this planet, that submission would follow command. They were wrong. Humanity laughed, not loudly, not cruelly, but in a quiet, enduring defiance that resonated through every human heart and echoed across space. For the first time, the galaxy began to understand that humans were not just another species to be controlled. Humans were a force of nature. Humans were a storm that could not be tamed. And in that moment, as explosions and energy beams lit the blackness of space, humanity took its first real step toward showing the galaxy that Earth's laughter was not empty. It was a warning. The Galactic Council's armada, once confident and precise, now struggled to maintain formation. Alien commanders barked orders, their voices sharp with panic. They had never faced an enemy like humanity, unpredictable, intelligent, and unyielding. Ships that should have dominated the battlefield were falling, one after another, their explosions lighting the void like fireworks. From Earth's command center, Admiral Kara Flynn surveyed the battlefield. The humans had suffered losses, but each sacrifice only strengthened their resolve. Every destroyed ship was a lesson learned, a pattern analyzed, a strategy perfected for the next strike. Kara's mind worked with calm precision, anticipating the Council's moves before they happened. Target the lead dreadnought and disrupt their command chain, Kara ordered. Her voice carried an authority that silenced doubts. Pilots and tacticians responded instantly, their movements precise and fluid. Human dreadnoughts leapt from cover behind asteroid belts, firing torpedoes and energy beams with pinpoint accuracy. The Council's largest ships, their shields thought to be impenetrable, faltered under the unexpected assault. One by one, they began to retreat, their formations breaking like glass under pressure. In orbit above the Pacific, human fighter squadrons danced through enemy fire. Pilots executed daring maneuvers that no alien could predict. Every strike was calculated, every retreat intentional, creating chaos among the Council's fleets. The aliens had studied humans for decades, yet nothing could have prepared them for this level of ingenuity and courage. Lieutenant Chen, watching the carnage from the bridge, finally allowed himself a grin. "Admiral, they're running." "They're actually running." Kara's eyes remained on the tactical display, a small smile tugging at her lips. "Not yet. They are regrouping, but they will learn quickly that Earth does not surrender." Humanity strikes back and we strike hard. Across the galaxy, news of humanity's counterattack spread. Observers from neutral systems watched in awe as a single planet, tiny, seemingly insignificant, fought back against the mightiest forces in existence. Humans were no longer just survivors. They were warriors, innovators, and legends in the making. On the command bridges of human ships, crews cheered quietly, but their celebration was tempered by focus. Every alien vessel destroyed brought new challenges, new opportunities, and a reminder of what was at stake. Kara knew that victory would not come from brute force alone. It would come from intelligence, strategy, and the unbreakable spirit of humans. The Council's leadership convened urgently in their crystal citadel. Panic rippled through their ranks as they realized the humans were not only surviving, they were dominating. Reports came in of entire squadrons destroyed, of alien warships crippled before they could fire, and of human drones sabotaging critical systems. One of the Council elders, an energy being named Lumera, whispered in disbelief, "This species, they are unstoppable." The humans did not hear those words, but they felt their truth. Every pulse of energy, every tactical decision, every daring maneuver reinforced one undeniable fact. Humanity could not be commanded, could not be intimidated, and could not be defeated easily. Kara looked out of the bridge viewport at the vast blackness of space, lit with the chaos of battle. She felt a surge of pride, not arrogance, but quiet certainty. Humanity had faced the impossible before and had always endured. Now the impossible was being shattered before her eyes. "Prepare for the next phase," she said calmly. "They will return in greater numbers. But we will be ready. Every strategy they have, we will counter. Every ship they bring, we will defeat. Let them learn what humans truly are." As human dreadnoughts and fighters launched coordinated strikes across the alien armada, the message became clear. The Council had underestimated Earth. They had expected surrender. They had expected fear. Instead, they faced the unthinkable, a species that laughed in the face of annihilation and struck back with overwhelming courage and cunning. In that moment, the galaxy began to understand a new truth. Humans were not merely a part of the cosmos. Humans were a force to be reckoned with, a storm that would not be contained, a people whose laughter was a warning, and whose strength was only beginning to be revealed. The battle had raged for days, and yet the Galactic Council's armada had not managed to break humanity's defenses. Ships that had once been symbols of terror now lay in smoking ruins, and their commanders were beginning to question everything they thought they knew. Humanity was not just surviving, they were thriving in the chaos of battle. From the command center beneath Siberia, Admiral Kara Flynn watched the holographic displays of the battlefield. Her eyes were sharp, calculating, and filled with pride. Human dreadnoughts glided through space with grace. Fighters darted between alien warships like lightning, and drones sabotaged enemy shields with deadly precision. Every human movement was deliberate, every strike effective. Lieutenant Chen, still trembling from the intensity, glanced at Kara. "Admiral, they're losing control. Entire squadrons are retreating." Kara's voice was calm, but her steel resolve resonated through the room. "Good. Let them feel the consequences of underestimating Earth. Humanity doesn't surrender. Humanity strikes back." The humans initiated a coordinated assault, a masterstroke of strategy and timing. Dreadnoughts emerged from hidden sectors, focusing fire on the Council's lead ships. Fighter squadrons swooped around massive capital vessels, striking weak points with precision-guided energy beams. Alien shields that had been considered unbreakable flickered, sparks dancing across the surface of their hulls as human technology found its mark. One massive warship, a living vessel shaped like a coiled serpent, exploded spectacularly in the void, scattering debris across kilometers of space. Its destruction sent a clear message to the remaining fleet. Humanity was not to be underestimated. Across the galaxy, reports of human ingenuity spread like wildfire. Observers from neutral systems watched in awe as a single planet's fleet dismantled what had been considered the mightiest armada in existence. Humans were no longer a curiosity. They were a legend, a species that had turned the tide of battle through courage, intelligence, and relentless determination. On Earth, civilians and soldiers alike followed the progress of the war. United in silent pride, children gazed at the stars, Imagining the bravery of the pilots above, scientists and engineers worked feverishly to upgrade weapons and improve tactics, knowing that every contribution mattered. Humanity's strength was not in numbers or raw power alone. It was in ingenuity, cooperation, and the unbreakable human spirit. The Council's leadership convened in desperation. Plans that had taken centuries to perfect crumbled before their eyes. Their armada was losing cohesion, morale plummeting as humans adapted faster than they could anticipate. One elder, a crystalline being named Eldrix, whispered, "We have underestimated them.
We cannot control them."
Kara observed the enemy fleet with quiet satisfaction. The humans were not fighting out of hatred nor for conquest. They fought to survive, to protect their home, and to show that no force in the galaxy could command Earth. That was the difference. Every strike carried purpose. Every maneuver reflected humanity's courage, and every victory resonated with unshakable pride. "Focus on their command ships," Kara instructed, her voice steady and commanding. "If they lose leadership, the rest will follow. This is our chance to turn the tide completely." Human ships surged forward, targeting the Council's command vessels with relentless precision. Alien formations collapsed under coordinated strikes. Ships panicked, and communication channels were jammed by human hacking drones. The once mighty armada was now in disarray, its glory shattered by a species that had refused to yield. In orbit above Earth, human dreadnoughts formed a protective crescent, ready to repel any counterattack. Fighter squadrons danced among alien ships, leaving trails of light and energy, a visual symphony of human skill and bravery. Kara allowed herself a rare smile. The Council thought they could crush us. They thought fear would bend us. They were wrong. Humanity survives. Humanity thrives. Humanity laughs in the face of the impossible. And in that moment, the tide of the battle shifted irreversibly. The Council's fleet was broken, their morale shattered, and the galaxy witnessed a single truth. Earth's defenders were not just survivors, they were legends, a species whose courage and brilliance had reshaped the meaning of power in the galaxy. The humans did not celebrate loudly, but their laughter echoed across the stars, quiet yet deafening. It was a warning and a declaration. Underestimate humanity at your own peril. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. The Council's armada, once a symbol of absolute power, now lay scattered and broken above Earth. Alien ships drifted like wounded beasts, their energy shields flickering, weapons disabled, and morale shattered. The humans had not just fought. They had humiliated the Council's forces, turning fear into triumph and chaos into a demonstration of pure ingenuity. Admiral Kara Flynn stood on the bridge of the lead human dreadnought, watching the remains of alien vessels float across the void. Her face was calm, her eyes reflecting both pride and quiet resolve. Humanity had survived impossible odds before, but this was different. This was a statement to the galaxy. Humans would not bow. They would not surrender, and they would be remembered. Lieutenant Chen, barely able to contain his excitement, spoke softly. "Admiral, they're retreating. The Council, they're leaving." Kara's lips curved into a firm smile. "Yes, they're leaving. But remember, this isn't just a victory of weapons, it's a victory of spirit." They expected fear. They expected obedience. Humanity gave them courage, cunning, and laughter instead. From orbit, human ships executed their final maneuvers. Fighters darted between disabled alien warships, ensuring no vessel could regroup. Dreadnoughts fired warning shots that disabled engines without destroying life support. Humans did not fight for revenge, only to show strength. Every movement spoke of discipline, strategy, and an understanding of power that went beyond sheer destruction. Across the galaxy, news of the human victory spread faster than light. Entire systems who had once relied on the Council's authority were now questioning their allegiance. The whispers of fear and awe traveled from the edge of the galaxy to the nearest star systems. Earth had faced the mightiest military force in existence and survived. More than that, it had laughed at their threat. Back on Earth, civilians and soldiers alike felt the victory ripple through them. Streets erupted in quiet celebrations, not in riotous chaos, but in pride and unity. Children gazed at the sky, imagining the ships streaking through space, and parents smiled, knowing that humanity had proven itself worthy of survival in a galaxy that often overlooked it. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to maintain the ships, drones and weapons that had won the battle, knowing that preparation was key to remaining undefeatable. The Council's leaders, meanwhile, faced humiliation they could not hide. Their crystal citadel trembled with tension as reports flooded in. Entire fleets had been decimated, strategies shattered, and their command authority questioned. Eldrix, one of the eldest and most respected of their kind, admitted in a rare moment of vulnerability, "We have misjudged them. We have underestimated them." Even those who had believed humanity could be contained now recognized a truth they could not ignore. Humans were not just survivors. They were predators, thinkers, and warriors. They had combined cunning, courage, and creativity to overcome impossible odds. They had turned fear into laughter, weakness into strength, and desperation into victory. Kara observed the Council's retreat with a sense of calm triumph. She knew they would return, perhaps with greater forces, but humanity had proven the first and most crucial lesson. No being, no fleet, no council could dictate to Earth. The galaxy had learned to respect fear, but humans had redefined it. She turned to her officers and crew. "Remember this moment," she said. "The Council thought they could command, control, and destroy. We have shown them otherwise. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity survives, and when we strike with honor, with precision, and with laughter." In the void above Earth, human ships formed their protective perimeter, ready for any challenge the galaxy might present. Their weapons were armed, their crews vigilant, but their hearts were light with the joy of survival. Humanity had not just defended their home, they had reshaped the galaxy's perception of them forever. And in every corner of the cosmos, the message spread clear and undeniable. Humans are not a species to be commanded, feared, or controlled. Humans are a force of nature, unyielding, brilliant, and unstoppable. Kara gazed at Earth below, its blue oceans and green lands glowing under the sun. "Let them return," she whispered. "Let them bring all the power they have. Humanity will be ready, and the galaxy will remember our laughter." The Council's retreat left a stunned silence in the galaxy. Their mighty armada, once thought invincible, had been broken, scattered, and humiliated by a single planet, Earth. Ships that had inspired terror now drifted powerless in the void, their crews bewildered by a force they could not understand. And across the stars, the name human began to carry a weight no one had anticipated. On Earth, Admiral Kara Flynn stood on the bridge of the lead dreadnought, watching the alien vessels retreat. The humans had won not just a battle, but a declaration. No one could command them, and no one could break them. Her crew looked at her with admiration and quiet joy, knowing they had faced the impossible and emerged victorious. Lieutenant Chen finally allowed himself to exhale. "Admiral, we did it. They're leaving." "Yes," Kara said, her voice calm yet filled with emotion. "They are leaving. And they will remember this. Every fleet, every system, every species, they will remember that humans do not surrender. Humanity survives. Humanity triumphs. Humanity laughs." The laughter was quiet, almost invisible, but it carried across the void through every ship, every station, and every listening sensor. It was not cruel, but confident, resolute and alive with the pride of a species that had survived for millennia against impossible odds. The galaxy had expected fear, but humans had given something far stronger: courage, brilliance, and defiance. Across Earth's orbit, human dreadnoughts formed protective arcs around the planet. Fighters danced between the crippled alien vessels, showing the world how a species united could dominate even the greatest threat in the cosmos. The humans had fought not out of hatred, but for survival, for freedom, and for honor. Their victory was a lesson, not a vendetta. Reports from neutral systems began arriving. Colonies, stations, and worlds that had once relied on the Council's authority now questioned their allegiance. Humanity had proven that determination, ingenuity, and courage mattered more than age, size, or technological superiority. The legend of Earth was growing, spreading like wildfire through the galaxy. On the ground, people celebrated not with chaos, but with quiet pride. Streets filled with smiles, children gazed at the stars with wonder, and families hugged tightly, knowing that Earth had stood tall against forces beyond imagination. Scientists, engineers, and strategists who had made the victory possible were honored. their work remembered as a symbol of human brilliance and resilience. The Council, meanwhile, retreated to their crystal citadel, facing humiliation they could not hide. Their decisions, their arrogance, and their assumptions had been shattered by a species they had once considered insignificant. Eldrix, one of the eldest among them, spoke softly, almost to himself. They are not like any other, they are unstoppable. Kara Flynn knew that the galaxy would eventually recover from the shock, and the Council would likely return, stronger and more cunning. But she also knew this truth. Humans were no longer a planet to be commanded. Humans were a force. They were a storm, brilliant, fearless, and unstoppable. And the galaxy would learn, slowly or quickly, that laughter and courage could shake even the mightiest powers. As the stars twinkled above, Kara looked down at Earth, the oceans shining,